In this next topic, the Tesla $7,500 tax credit. If you make too much money over the income limits, like $150,000 or $300,000, there's actually a little bit of loophole that can get you to qualify for the $7,500. There's multiple loopholes, and of course, there's just a way you can try and purchase it a different way. But let's just quickly talk about it as a PSA for those that are actually interested. So right now, Model 3, Model Y, and also Model X, that's under $80,000, you could potentially get a $7,500 federal tax credit on those vehicles. And of course, one thing to note, it's based on MSRP price. So it's not a loophole where like if you use a Tesla referral code, just like the one down below in the description to get that $1,000 off, or even the military discount to get another $1,000 off, that does not affect the MSRP. That only unfortunately affects the sales price. So that's not going to push it under the threshold to make it qualify for that $7,500. The one easiest way to actually qualify or make yourself qualify is to actually lease a vehicle, because when you lease a Tesla vehicle, then you get that full $7,500 on a lease. It's actually itemized on the lease, and you see it line item on the breakdown as a discount. You get them. It doesn't matter how much you make or how little you make, you get that full $7,500 right down on a lease, and it's just spread out over the course of the whole lease, and so you still get it. But the one thing with leasing though is, well, two things. It's purely a rental. You have to give it back to Tesla, and on top of that, you cannot buy the vehicle, and on top of that, the interest rate on a lease is going to be much higher than 1.99. I think I last looked, it was like 7 or 9% interest on a lease, because you're still financing what you use on a Tesla vehicle. But there's actually a handful of ways to make yourself qualify if you make too much money or too much income over the limits to get the tax credit. If you're curious on how much those limits are, you can see right here somewhere. If we take a look at on the finance section, you can see the criteria is that if you make over $300,000 as a married couple, then you would not qualify. It doesn't matter how little you make, it's how much you make. If you make $225,000 as a head of household, then you will not qualify. If you make over $150,000, you will not qualify as well. You can make as little as you want and you still qualify for the $7,500, but if you make above these limits, then you actually will not qualify. And the key thing here is this: these are actually based on adjusted gross income. So it's not like how much most you make. It's actually after certain things of that. So it's based upon your modified adjusted gross income as well, or your modified AGI, adjusted gross income. And there's plenty of ways to reduce your modified or reduce your AGI. The easiest ways is like 401ks. If you contribute all the way up to like $21,000 or $20,000, that reduces it $20K. So if you make $170,000 as a single person, you can max out your 401k and reduce it right back down to under $150K. Another way is like HSAs, health savings account. That also reduces your adjusted gross income as well. And the list goes on and on. Deduct student loan interest, deduct educational expenses, health savings account, business expenses. You can see there's plenty of ways to adjust that adjusted gross income, whether you're single or you're married, so that you could try and qualify for that $7,500 federal tax credit. And so certainly if you're looking to use some of these methods, you probably have to plan a little bit, and it's probably going to take you at least a couple months for you to actually do that. So you could time this with a Q4 deal, and also time it with a Tesla referral code discount, just like the one down below in the description. So you can lock in your $1,000 discount. Click it open down below in the description first, let it load, and then find and order a vehicle, because you probably don't want to do an inventory order, because that would be a lot quicker than just ordering it and letting it wait a month or two. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Hopefully that was a good PSA and helped you out.